Welcome friends. Today we'll make a free energy generator using a copper coil, solenoid, motor and a magnet. Tools required is as usual. We are using making a use of the tool for this. For this we will take an insulated copper wire which will make a solenoid by winding it over any cylindrical object. This type of coil insulated copper wire we will take and then we will make a solenoid or a coil out of it. For this we will take any cylindrical object, any uh, type of cylindrical object and wound a coil over it. So we have taken here a cylindrical object over which I am winding the copper coil to make it a solenoid. So after tightly winding this coil, we will remove this coil from that cylindrical and we have a spring like coil. By using this we will make a free energy generator. So once we have done a tightly winding, we will remove that coil from that cylindrical object and use this to generate a free energy. So this is in the form of a spring. Next we will take a DC motor which is mounted over a stand and fix it on the board. So we have already fixed that motor over the stand and we will try to fix that on the plywood board. We will tightly fix it with a screw and screwdriver. Once it has been fixed, we will mount this coil in front of that magnet of the front end of the motor shaft. So we have to tightly fix it on the board so that it will not shake. Once it is been done, so the motor is been fixed tightly and the motor magnet is free to rotate. Once it is fixed, next we will take this coil and fix it in front of the motor shaft with the magnet. So for this we will take a stand of a glass slab. I have a glass slab. I will take this slab, this type of slab, and fix it in front of the motor shaft with a magnet. We are using a two-sided tape here to fix that glass slab. So you cut it as per the requirement and fix it so that the glass slab is tightly fixed in the front of the magnet. So once it has been fixed, now we will mount a cylindrical round shape object over which this coil will surrounds that cylindrical object. So this type of cover used in the speaker for the magnet, I am using that as a cylindrical object over which this with a magnet in front of that so that maximum flux may generate around the coil. And it works on the principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, stating that whenever the flux linking the coil changes, EMF is generated. So we will see that maximum flux is linking the coil. We will cut the tape as per the requirement and fix it over the glass slab and mount this cylindrical object. So this has been fixed as per the requirement, and I'll fix this cylindrical object over that. Once it has been fixed, so once it has been fixed, we will fix the tape as per the requirement and try to fix that cylindrical object over the glass slab. So we have taken the tape, two-sided tape, and try to fix over the glass slab and mount that cylindrical object. Now we will mount this cylindrical object over the glass slab and fix it tightly and surround the coil over it in its surface in a circular way. So we have fixed the wire around the so once we have fixed that, we have to tightly wind it so that the coil will not remove. So we will straighten the coil at the ends of the coil and twist it around that cylindrical object to make a coil. After taking the endings of the coil, I'll twist it tightly so that it will not be removed. Once it has been fixed, we will cut it as per the requirement, first soldering it with a forward bias diode and filter capacitor. So we will cut it as per the requirement. So we have done the maximum thing. So we will cut it as per the requirement to solder it with a forward bias wire and a filter capacitor. Before that, we have to remove the insulation of the coil endings. Using a knife or a blade, you can use a knife or a blade to remove the insulation and solder it properly. So we are using a knife here to remove the insulation. Once you have to see that the insulation is properly removed, otherwise the solder wire will not fix it properly. So once you will remove, show that the copper wire should shine after removing the insulation. Also, once it is been removed properly, you can solder it properly without dry solder. So once it is been removed, now we have to solder it with a solder wire. We'll take a solder wire and solder it properly. Once the soldering is been done, we have to fix a forward bias diode so that the AC generated in the coil will be converted into DC with a forward bias diode. You can use a single diode to get a half wave rectification, or two diodes to get a full wave rectification, or a four diode to get a bridge rectification. Here I am using a single diode for a forward bias to convert the alternating current which is generated in the coil in pure form of DC, and we are using a filter capacitor to remove the residual AC and get a pure DC out of it. We will solder the ends of the windings. Once the solder is completed, fix a diode and a capacitor to it. We will take a forward bias of this type and fix it in front of the coil. Once the diode is been fixed, this is the time to fix a filter capacitor in front of a diode and another end of the coil, so that whatever the residual AC is being filtered out while the generation of AC in the coil, we can get a pure DC out of the coil. So we will take the capacitor and see that the positive point of the capacitor is fixed with the diode and the negative with the other ending of the coil. Now we will fix the positive end of the capacitor to the forward bias of the diode in front of the diode, and the negative point to the other ending of the coil. Next, we will take an extension board and use this extension board and connect it with the front end of the diode to get a pure DC output. We will fix the extension board, 2-pin extension board with the tape. So once it has been fixed properly, now we will connect the red end of the coil with the forward bias of the diode and the negative and black wire with the another end of the coil. Before fixing it, solder it properly so that it will be fixed with the diode. The next black wire with the another end of the windings. So our connection is completed here, and now it's the time to connect the DC motor to the extension board and give a torque to the motor to generate free energy. We will check whether it will generate the free energy or not. So we are fixing the DC motor. The loop is completed. Now the time is to give a torque it with the hand. So give it a faster. Once the torque is given, the motor starts to rotate, showing that the energy is generated with the coil, and this is a converter into DC with the power gas coil. It also works on the principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, stating that whenever the flux linked in the coil changes, the EMF is generated in the coil, which is in the form of AC. The use of power and the capacitor to convert it into DC. Now the bulb is going to show that showing that EMF is generated in the coil. So this is how we can generate EMF in the coil using principle of law of electromagnetic induction. Thank you.